Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Me again, Shannon Fox here, the Voter Patriots 2 channel. Just trying to wake up, get my hair in line, get a little bit of coffee in me before I get up and get out and go help feed these homeless people today. Our regular Sunday gig around here is to put blessing bags together and go feed between 20 and 50 people every weekend. Getting ready to get up and get it going. We'll be doing a live stream a little bit after lunch. I asked everybody, please join me if you like to see such wonderful things as surprising the homeless people with something good to eat. I'm drinking my morning mud, just a little bit too sweet this morning. Got me making all kinds of bitter beer face expressions. I think I double dosed it on the sugar. Rough, but at any rate, we got lots of good information to get to today, including some explosive news, some exposure, and some people being indicted and getting ready to go to jail behind election fraud of all things, and so many other things to discuss, including Elon Musk's attempt to start another political party. But we're going to get into all that. Let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, I got lots of information for you. Got my goggles on. Got some reading to do. But first, let's take our hats off to everybody here in Texas that has drowned or is missing over the last couple of days. Due to this flood, the amount of water that has accumulated and rained down on the people of Central Texas was just devastating. I seen flood video of about 14 minutes watching a river swell and just literally take out trailer parks and campgrounds. It's pretty devastating stuff. And they say at this point they believe the death count is up over 50 people, with many people still missing and unaccounted for. So let's pray for those people before we go any further today. Lord, please look after the families of all those that have lost family members and loved ones and their possessions and everything that is dear to them in life today. And please help those that are lost to be found. And please help find a way to have these people to be able to recover and rebuild. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right, folks, let's go ahead and get into the show. It says 15 Democrats, including several Democrat officials, indicted in Frio, Texas. Frio County, Texas. Voter harvesting scandal, with a voter harvesting scandal including a local judge, former rep candidate, and 2 former mayors. Sound like they were all in on it. Now, first things first, let's get into the names of some of these people so you kind of get an idea of where Frio, Texas is. We got a Raul, we got a Marcela, we got a Raquel, we got a Susana, a Cecilia, a Ramiro, a Carlos, another Rochelle, a Rosa, another Rochelle, a Manuel, and an Enilde. And we don't even have to go into the last names. We know their last names. It's all Rodriguez or Trevino or Ramirez or Castellano, Gonzalez. You get the gist of it, folks. This is a South Texas town, no doubt about it. And all of these people were in on the scam. It says 9 more officials were arrested in connection with the voter fraud harvesting scandal in Frio County, Texas, bringing the total number indicted to 15. The latest indictments include Manuel Medina, the Texas State Tejano Democrat chair. Manuel was recorded discussing a scheme to collect votes for Castellano with the Frio County operator. Got busted. Former Dilley Mayor Maria Ann Obregon was also indicted on 2 counts of the voter harvesting, and Petria Trevino was also indicted on 1 count. So they're catching them, folks. They're catching them, they're indicting them. Hopefully they're going to throw the book at them. We got Attorney General Ken Paxton here. He says he has arrested 6 individuals, including public officials, participating in this. Good job, Ken. The individuals were arrested early in May, except for the Frio County judge, Rochelle Lozano Camacho, who was not processed at the time. Camacho later turned herself into the police and was charged with harvesting during the primary election. Camacho has been dealing with medical issues. Maybe too much stress from being a thief. Let's see here. Let's see. I don't want to read about Camacho's life story. I don't care about her health problems at this point. I care that she's trying to steal the elections. As Attorney General Ken Paxton announced the indictments and arrests of 6 people, including several public officials, election-related crime to a vote harvesting scheme in Frio County. These people deserve a fair and honest election here in Texas, not backroom deals with political insiders rigging the system. And there is tons of allegations against these people. Now we've got local Channel 5 here that's telling the story.
Not a story that's been unfolding over the course of years surrounding election fraud. 9 additional people in Frio County are now facing charges in connection to a vote harvesting case stretching back to 2022. 6 public officials were already arrested in May for their alleged roles. KENS 5's Earl Stoudemire now walks us through who is on this new list.
Among the 9 people indicted this week include Maricela Benavides on the Pearsall ISD School Board, Frio County Commissioner Raul Calazales III, and Cecilia Castellano, who ran to be a state representative. The indictment for Benavides says she sent one of her colleagues money on March 24th of 2023 to pay Cheryl Castillo to harvest votes for her. Carrizales' indictment says he sent Susana Carrizales money on December 22nd of 2023 to also pay Castillo for her services, despite Castillo telling them she was being investigated. While running for a state house seat, Cecilia Castellano's indictment says she sent money to Juan Medina twice last year in February. One of the payments sent to Medina was sent to Rachel Leal to pay Castillo for her services. The other payment Medina got went to Ineldo Rodriguez and former Dilley Mayor Mary Ann Obregon in their votes for Castellano between February and May 2024. Again, all of this according to the indictment. Former Pearsall Mayor Pedro Trevino was also indicted with the group. In May, we had the first round of arrests involving Frio County Judge Rochelle Camacho and former County Election Administrator Carlos Segura. Camacho has been suspended from her duties without pay until the court process is finished. The Attorney General's office made most of these arrests, going through cell phone data of those accused, seeing payments ranging from $1,000 to $3,000 for vote harvesting services. Under Texas law, this is a third-degree felony. The Frio County District Attorney's Office says everyone has turned themselves in except Juan Medina. We'll continue to follow for updates. Earl Stoudemire.
Sounds like Juan Medina needs to get his ass down to the station before they got to come kick his door in and come hunt him down. Well, I'm glad to see this is being foiled, exposed, indictments, arrests, and hopefully prosecution. That's what I'm waiting for, the full prosecution. They've been arrested. Easy to indict. They done got them guilty with their cell phones. Speaking of guilty, we've also got Lee Zeldin and several other of Trump's executive branch people like RFK Jr. getting rid of some people, firing some people, trying to put some people under the nut and bolts of honesty, and they're not trying to hear it. These anti-Trumpers are being kicked out. These people that are on Team Fauci, part of the CDC, and all these three-lettered organizations involving our health are being weeded out by, like I said, RFK Jr. He is hot and heavy on that this week. He is basically cleaning out the system, no doubt about it. All right, folks, I hear an alarm going off in the background. Let me pause this real quick. All right, I got some more reading for y'all to do today. Got EPA Director Lee Zeldin places 144 left-wing nuts on leave after they signed the anti-Trump declaration just months ago. Old Trump haters exposing themselves and now are going to lose their job behind it. I ain't mad at you. Let's get it done. Lee Zeldin, I think, is a great addition to the Trump administration. I think they cheated him out of his race there in New York, and ever since then, Trump's had an eye to keep him in his cabinet. So as soon as Trump got in there, he put Lee Zeldin as EPA chief, which he is doing a great job. Listen to this, folks. On June 30th, 2025, nearly 300 current and recently terminated EPA officials signed a declaration of dissent outlining how President Trump's politicization of science and job cuts were undermining the notoriously far-left agency. In their closed minds, it is Trump who has politicized the science, not the radicals who have been pushing the pseudoscience like global warming for years. Back in March, Director Zeldin canceled $22 billion in EPA contracts, including $2 billion awarded to Georgia's Stacey Abrams in one of the shadiest governmental deals of all time. She needs to go to jail behind that. The Stacey Abrams group received only $100 in 2023, and then the Biden regime gave that same group $2 billion in 2024, on the way out the door in one of the shadiest and crookedest government agencies of all time. Dang. Yep, he is canceling stuff left and right. I ain't mad at you.
EPA has now canceled over $22 billion worth of contracts. $2 billion going to this NGO that Stacey Abrams was tied to. They received only $100 in 2023. And then the Biden administration gave them $2 billion. The director of the Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund saw his former employer get $5 billion. So $20 billion went to just 8 NGOs, and they're all pass-throughs.
And that's what was going on with the EPA under the Biden administration. They were pulling the whole green new scam money laundering, boomerang hustle. Well, that stuff is over. That stuff is gone by the wayside. Now, this was a fun fact that we found out this week involving the big, beautiful bill. One of the wonderful things that was in it, Trump's immigration budget, in part in this big, beautiful bill, has surpassed the military budgets of several countries, including Russia's entire defense spending. It says we have got 46. Says President Trump recently passed the big, beautiful bill, shattering all expectations when it comes into law and order funding. Tucked within the sprawling legislation is a gargantuan $175 billion earmarked for immigration enforcement. This morning, Byron Donalds was on one of the morning shows, one of the left-wing morning shows, and they asked him, why does the United States need a $175 billion budget for immigration? Byron Donalds told him, we got to get all these 10-plus million people out of the country. You think that's going to be cheap? So it's definitely for the immigration process of exporting all these people. Excuse me. To put the scale of the funding in perspective, ICE posted this bill budget dwarfs the combined annual budget of the FBI, DEA, ATF, U.S. Marshals, and federal prisons, and is positioned to surpass the defense spending of the vast majority of sovereign nations around the globe. Yeah, they spent some money on this one. It says, here's how it breaks down. $46 billion for border wall and barriers, $45 billion for detention facility expansion, more alligator Alcatrazes, $30 billion for ICE operations, that's hiring more agents, up to 10,000 more, $13 billion for state and local cost reimbursement programs to get local law enforcement to help, got to reimburse them for their time, $10 billion for DHS reimbursements. That is going to the Department of Homeland Security for all the other interagencies that get involved. $3.3 billion for immigration court expansion and administration support, meaning they're going to have one immigration judge in every single one of these deportation facilities, so they can put them in there hundreds at a time, read them their rights, give them their court date, put them on a plane. $5 billion for CBP facility upgrades and staffing and other small allocations added up to a total of ICE and CBP combined annual funding rises from $8 to $10 billion a year, over $30 billion through the year 2029. So up to 2029, we got the money to fix the problem. Now here's the actual graph. And this was according to Newsweek. It says we are right here at United States. ICE funds versus world top defense budget. $895 billion, United States, and versus the defense budget of all these other countries. $266 for China, $126 for Russia, $75 for India. So we're spending more on getting people out of our country than 99% of the countries do on their defense. I ain't mad. It's a problem we need to fix. It says ICE's new budget under Trump is now bigger than Russia's entire military. Yes, you read that right. The Biden years are over. Here's what Trump's $175 billion mass deportation campaign really means. We're going to kick these people out the country. That's what's happening, folks. And people are happy. There's a lot of people happy about it. There we go. That's what I like to see. Them C5s opened up with the back door open with about 1,000 immigrants on the plane. That's what I'm looking forward to. Illegal immigrants, of course. All right, folks, let's get into some more news. There's a lot going on, including Republican Rhino Dan Bacon, who never votes like a Republican, says he's retiring because Congress is too time consuming. He don't like working 14 hours a day occasionally, and he definitely does not like working 4 days a week. Truth be known, Don Bacon will not be able to survive his seat. He has been losing support ever since he turned on Trump in 2016, and has done very little to help the Republican Party along the way. He is Nebraska's Rhino, if nothing else. But he says, some like to spend my retirement from my Congress to fit their own wishes, but I'm retiring from Congress in 2027 to spend more time with my family. He done got all the money he can get out of Congress. He won't be elected back in. Trump doesn't support him. The writing is on the wall. He's out of there. One less Rhino to contend with. We will have to contend with Elon Musk trying to put in some New America Party candidate in there, which I guess is okay, but I prefer not to divide the party up. We'll get into that a little closer to the end of the video. I'll ask your opinion on what you think about Elon Musk's involvement in politics at this point, now that he wants to start a whole new political party. Now, speaking of things getting exposed, now, we say this all the time, Trump is right about everything, and that is true a lot of the times, because he is really good about calling stuff out in advance. Well, this was years ago, 2019, on Newsweek with George Slapadopoulos. Trump was calling out what we have known to be true for a while, but is actually being put out to the world in documented proof by the CIA, John Ratcliffe, as of this week. I'm talking about Barack Obama's involvement in all the Steele dossier and the Russia collusion hoax and everything they did to try to get rid of Trump.
It's very simple. There was no crime. There was no collusion. The big thing's collusion. Now there's no collusion. That means it was a setup. In my opinion, and I think it's going to come out. I hope it's going to come out.
There it is.
We're going to find out very soon, because I really believe it's going to come out. When you look at Strzok, these FBI guys that were lowlifes, when you look, because the FBI is the greatest, but the top people were absolute lowlifes. When you look at Strzok and Page, and they're talking about an insurance policy, just in case she loses, that was the insurance
I've
policy.
heard you talk about
I
that
went
before.
through George. I went through the insurance policy.
I understand that, but if they were determined to prevent you from becoming president, why wouldn't they leak it beforehand?
You know what? You'd have to ask them. Oh, they tried. They tried. And you know what? Had that gone out before the election, I don't think I could have. I don't think I would have had enough time to defend myself.
You clearly believe there was a group of people working against you. Do you think President Obama was behind it?
I would say that he certainly must have known about it, because it went very high up in the chain. But you're going to find that out. I'm not going to make that statement quite yet, but I would say that President Obama had to know about it.
He had to know about it, and that's the damn truth, and we all know it. Trump called it early. He wasn't trying to point the finger, but he knew. And now, look at here what we've got today. Report, Obama was in on it. His fingerprints are all over the John Brennan's CIA report, post-2016 election intel community assessment on bogus Trump-Russia collusion framing scandal. They went to a lot of trouble to make shit up about Trump, and Barack Obama was in on it. We knew it the whole time. Says CIA Director John Ratcliffe announced on Wednesday that the new CIA report reveals that former FBI Director James Comey, CIA Director John Brennan, and DNI James Clapper worked together to purposely corrupt the Trump-Russia investigation in 2016 before Trump even entered the office. They were already spying on him, General Flynn, and Devin Nunes, and a huge amount of his cabinet. Says the three corrupt Obama officials included Steele dossier in the quest to screw Trump, knowing this time that the Steele dossier was complete garbage. They knew it was fake news. They didn't care. They didn't care. They just wanted it out there. All the world can now see, says John Ratcliffe, Brennan, Clapper, Comey, manipulated intelligence, science career professionals, all to get Trump. Thank you to the career CIA officers who conducted this review and exposed the facts. Russia collusion was set up from the beginning. The CIA says, yep, the FBI and CIA and NSA were all in on the whole get Trump. Sources tell me, Paul Sperry says, who's a reporter, says, sources tell me Obama's fingerprints are all over Brenna's post-2016 election intelligence community assessment, the Putin-Trump frame-up scandal, the PP tapes and all that, which leads directly back to the White House's Susan Rice, Lisa Monaco, Celeste Wallander. Biden was also in the briefing. That's when they discussed the Pfizer warrant. They were all Obama people trying to get Trump. We knew it. We knew it then, and we're proving it now. That's the facts, folks. Hopefully everybody comes join us on the live today. We'll be getting out here about lunchtime and feeding some homeless people today. It is pretty wet and miserable out here in Texas, or it was yesterday anyway, with all the flooding and everything. So we're going to go see if we can find some homeless people if they're not too waterlogged today. Hopefully they found them some great dry place to hang out over the night with all this massive flooding going on. We're going to get out there today and provide some food for them all. I did buy some socks, got some socks ordered, got some socks on the way, and got some that have showed up. So we're going to end up with 3 batches of socks. Make sure we give every homeless person we run across, starting, I believe, next week, at least 2 or 3 pair. Going to be a huge sock drive. Like I said, we got a couple hundred pair of socks on hand, got a couple hundred pair of socks coming in. And thank you to my listeners that have contributed to the channel and made all this possible as well. Says it took 15 years, but he finally completely destroyed Obama and his entire legacy. I'm talking about that big, beautiful bill. On the eve of the 254th of July, no less, God bless America, the big, beautiful bill passed. Obamacare is on its way out the door. Obama's being exposed for the criminal that he is. And the America First policies are being put into place versus Obama's bullshit. I'm so glad to see Obama's policies are going by the wayside every time Trump signs an executive order or gets another thing passed through Congress. It is a good thing to fight the system that they've been putting on us, because it's been bad for way too long. Finally taking our country back in the right way, from the inside out. So Secretary of State Marco Rubio officially confirmed some more wonderful news. President Trump and Elon Musk have toppled, you said, the greatest terrorist organization on the planet in human history. Now, whether you agree with Elon Musk today or not, he says some things sometimes that just make him sound like he's crazy. Got his own ideas about building another political party, which I don't think will work. I think him backing political people in politics is just fine and well. That's part of the whole process. But to try to divide MAGA because he doesn't agree with Trump or Trump's spending or the Republican spending habits. I don't agree with the Republican spending habits either, but you can't blow up the party to try to build a new one. That ain't the way it works. You have to build something from the ground up. You can't just throw money at something and hope it fixes it, Elon. We've seen the left do that and it never worked. But it is glorious news that you said is dead. Just like Act Blue is under investigation, you said is shut down, under investigation, and no more money going out the door to these George Soros types that like to promote hate to America, stolen elections, and open door immigration.
Come on, talk to the average American. Do they want to see people dying because of assistance cut off?
We're cutting off millions of children from food to save ourselves like pennies on the dollar. You know, again, less than 1% of our budget. Like, that's not a saving. And this work is literally life and death for some people. So it's not a savings that matters.
Well, that's enough of them salty tears for me, but you get the gist of it. You said it's closed down. There's 24 Democrats out there mad as hell because they don't have a job anymore passing out that free money. Now, Elon Musk, like I said, has made some crazy comments lately, including wanting to start his own political party, which will not work. It will just divide our party and give Democrats a better hand. He should instead try to work with finding the right candidates to primary and put new candidates in, which we can all agree that there's some people that need to go on the Republican side. So why don't he work at that instead of trying to become a demigod and of his own sort, thinking he is going to change the trajectory of the country with his money. It takes more than money to run this country, Elon. If it was just a money factor, the Democrats would have won by now. Truth be known, he is speaking a little bit of truth here about what we need to do about the whole "you said" thing. I cannot agree more with him. I think Elon Musk has been a great asset to Trump's team. But as far as wanting to divide the party at this point, I don't know if that's the answer at this time. I think he should do more to try to build the party, including primary some people. I am all for Elon Musk primarying people that are not doing the will of the people. So hats off to you for that. But as far as creating a whole new political party, it's not going to work.
Fake NGOs, I think there needs to be a number of arrests in that regard as well, because these are fake charities where mostly Democrats. Almost, well, I don't want to be clear. There's sometimes a little bit of Republican in there because they sometimes throw the Republicans a bone to say, "Hey, be quiet about this." So that's where you start getting the uniparty thing going on. But it is overwhelmingly to Democrats, and they give give billions of dollars to NGOs run by Democrats that then go through a whole network of additional NGOs. It's a giant money laundering scheme. Really, at this point, I think the word NGO and money laundering are almost synonymous. Fake NGOs, I think there needs to be a number of arrests in that regard as well, because
there needs to be a number of arrests as well, and I cannot agree more about that sentiment. But as far as his wanting to start another political party, it takes more than money and ideas, Elon, to get this done. It takes a grassroots movement that you've only been involved in for months now. Trump has been trying to fix this country for more than 10 years, so if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. And I do agree with the whole trying to save money thing I do agree with Elon Musk's ideas, but I don't agree with his tactics at this point. Trying to divide the Republican Party is not going to help him or his Tesla stocks or his future in politics. I don't believe at this point. Maybe I'm wrong, but we'll see. Now, Scott Jennings over here on CNN, the only conservative over there, he's got a few words for Elon Musk as well, and I just have to agree with him 100% on this one.
Than it looks to start a political party, and we'll see where they go with it. My humble advice to Elon, who I admire very much actually, is that you may be dividing the forces of people who want to save Western civilization to the benefit of the people who don't. And so to the extent that this effort would divide conservatives and Republicans against each other, that would be helpful, because it would leave the country to people who want unfettered immigration, who don't share your fiscal views, and so on and so forth. So we'll see where it goes. I sort of hope everybody puts the band back together the way they had it back in 2024, because when everybody was working together, things worked quite well.
I'm just curious, if they're on the side of Western civilization, what's the other civilization that people want?
I agree with Scott Jennings on that one, no doubt about it. I wish Elon was more in the fold of the future of the country, but he's got his own ideas as to what's wrong with the country. And he's right, budget is part of the problem, but it is not the only problem. We have got all kinds of problems with this country that need to be addressed, and starting a new political party, I don't believe is going to help. As a matter of fact, if you ask Grok if starting another political party will help the Republican Party, said it will not help either party. Most likely, if it helps anybody, it will help the Democrats, because the Republican Party will be fractured. And it says, since Elon Musk has declared his new America Party, major investment firm pulls out support for Tesla, postpones his launch after Elon Musk launches new political party. So Elon Musk is now getting backlash from the people that support Trump. But what he doesn't realize is that Trump is president for the next 3.5 years, and if he wants to go to war with Trump behind spending, he probably picked the wrong time to do it, considering Trump has got the American people behind him, the executive branch behind him, and in theory, Congress behind him as well. That's what I got for you today, folks. Hopefully everybody enjoyed. Let me know in the comment section down below what you feel about the America Party versus the America First Party. Do you agree with Elon? Do you think he's just trying to shake things up? Or do you think he is now a threat to our democracy. All right, folks, everybody have a good one. I will hopefully see you soon over here on the live stream. Be getting to here directly. Like, subscribe, and share. Over and out.